Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to dive into a follow-up of the AirSafe Hitch. In my last video I'd only towed about 900 miles with it, but now I've got probably 3,700 miles under my belt with it, and I gotta say that I am more impressed now than I was before. Let's break it down. If you saw my first video, I reviewed the AirSafe Hitch and I was happy with it, but I did not expect to love it as much as I do after all these miles of driving. In my first video, I had talked to the folks at AirSafe and they were saddened to hear that I didn't feel that much of a difference. And I said, well, my truck is pretty stiff and I have airbags on it, so there's some weight and balance things there with my truck specifically that I don't think the AirSafe is that much of a noticeable difference. So just my route that I've driven. I drove from Phoenix to Bullhead City, Arizona, to Las Vegas, to here, 900-ish miles. Then from Salt Lake City, I drove to Sacramento, California, then down to LA, then back through Vegas, and back to Salt Lake City. And just recently, we left from here over to Wyoming, down to Larkspur, Colorado for the maintenance rally, and then back the same path back to here. In the nearly 3,000 miles of driving with it since my last video, I have noticed a couple of things. One, driver fatigue, particularly going across I-80 into California, where it's just boom, 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 boom for hundreds and hundreds of miles. The porpoising and the shaking of the truck. I don't feel that as much. It's still there, but I don't feel it as much. I haven't lost a rivet since I've installed the AirSafe Hitch. I have noticed a lack of things shifting in the trailer. This big cushion right here, just because it's really heavy and it's only supported by one snap back there, this thing moves around quite a bit and sometimes falls off. But that's about the only thing that's really shifted, unless we've just hit a giant hole. Hey everybody, just to interject real quick, I'm sitting in Ohio right now as I'm editing this video. I have put an additional 3,400 miles on the AirSafe Hitch since I filmed that one. The same things still hold true. No rivets lost. Everything in the trailer stays much more calm than it used to. And then last is confidence. I really genuinely believe, whether this is placebo effect or not, I genuinely believe that AirSafe Hitch is helping take care of my front end of my trailer. More so after my visit to Vinnie's. And we talked about the hitch, and we talked about front end separation, we talked about a number of things like that. The main drawbacks are cost and weight. It's 100 pounds. It's a heavy beast to move around. I can move it around fine, but I take pride in my strength and take pride in maintaining my strength. But many of us who own and live in these Airstreams are in retirement age, and deadlifting 100 pounds of a hitch weight is not their idea of a fun day. And that's fine. I know many people out there in the world who've gone to Harbor Freight and bought the cheap transmission jack, and they use it to get on and off and slide it around in the garage and things like that. But I'm still capable of using, so I'm going to use it. Next thing is the cost. Specifically, if you've already paid for a giant Pro Pride, or you've paid for a giant equalizer, Blue Ox, or whatever type of weight distribution system you have, and now you got to add something to that, or you're going to replace it completely. Cost is always a big deal. I'm going to hit on this real quick, and I think it's very important, and I hope everyone at AirSafe hears this. But Allen Wilkinson, he is fantastic. Every conversation I've had with him has been awesome. Every RFI, request for information, I've sent to him via email, immediately response with quality feedback and information that I was seeking. I have sent many people his way via phone call or email to talk to him and ask questions, and every single one of them who talked to him has had the same response. He is awesome. And it's very rare to find that kind of customer service these days, so I appreciate you, Alan. I appreciate the whole team at AirSafe, and everyone in there should be like Alan. Now, I have had a ton of questions on various hitches, specifically other type of airbags and anti-vibration hitches and things like that. Gen Y, shocker hitch, both those two come to mind. That's the two I get the most questions about, in addition to the AirSafe. I haven't tested either one of those. I don't know those hitches, other than friends of mine and acquaintances of mine have them on their trailer and they use them and they've been happy with them. I think some of the lighter weight aspects of them and closer to the truck aspects of them come into play, but I don't know how they work. I don't know how they test. I don't know how they feel. I would love to test some out. If anybody out there knows the folks at Gen Y or knows the folks at Shocker and they want to send me a hitch, I'm happy to test them all against the competitors. I love being a guinea pig, and I love data, and I love information. I'll get my little accelerometer back out. I'll tow a stretch of highway with a plain hitch, AirSafe Hitch, Shocker Hitch, Gen Y Hitch, any of those type hitches. I'll test them all and see which one comes out as the most vibration reduction type hitch. All that said, here's my takeaway. Anything is better than nothing. The vibrations caused by your truck in the road, and your truck is going to take the trailer up or down with it whenever it goes up or down, and that causes a whip-like motion through the frame all the way down the whole frame. And then if you add bikes and heavy things to the back of your trailer, that's even a more ripple, because you going across a bridge with your truck and that ball is clamped onto the thing and it drops off the bridge and it pulls the trailer down with it, so you get this ripple through. And then you have these heavy bikes on the back and they shake back here and they ripple back through that way. It's a wonder more trailers don't fall apart with all the stuff we put on them and in them. So therefore, I think that hitch helps reduce some of that shocking up on the coupler of the Airstream. And that's more specifically with a heavy duty truck, 3/4 ton, 1 ton truck, that kind of thing like that. They're very stiff. I have an F350, which the capabilities far exceed the trailer that I'm carrying. And let's talk about front end separation here real quick while we're on hitches. I had a great conversation with the folks at the Colorado Airstream maintenance rally a few weeks back. I also had a great conversation with Vinnie at his place in Sacramento about front end separation a few weeks back. And I'm more convinced after Vinnie and those folks that this type of hitch for my type of truck and my setup is the absolute way to go. Is it for you? Probably, but maybe not. I don't know. Even with a smaller, lighter duty truck, Tundra, F-150, Expedition, whatever, Suburban, any kind of other vehicle that's not a heavy duty 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck, you can still use these shock absorption hitches, because you can attach a weight distribution hitch to the back of it and you still have that aspect of it. But from a front end separation standpoint, I genuinely believe that weight distribution hitches, coupled with vehicles inadequate for towing the weight that they're towing, is a large reason why we get front end separation. Also, improperly adjusted weight distribution hitches and too high of a tire pressure. And I'll give you an example. I know 3 people right now who are getting front end separation fixed on a trailer that they have purchased within the last year. 2024s, 2025s, Flying Cloud, Classic, and Globetrotter. 27, 33, and 30 are the sizes on those 3 trailers that I know of. All 3 of them purchased a trailer, their trailer, from Colonial Airstream. And I'm not bagging Colonial Airstream. I just happens to be where they all 3 came from. All 3 of them have front end separation. All 3 of them towing with a heavy duty truck, well capable of pulling that type trailer. All 3 of them have Pro Pride hitches, and all 3 of their tire pressures were set at the maximum cold tire pressure. Again, I'm not bagging on Colonial. That just happens to be the last 3 people I talked to. I've heard this same story across the spectrum, across the country. There's no one dealer better than the other. It's just technicians are better than others. But I just ask that you do your homework for the trailer that you're getting. If you add aftermarket things on it, like a big inverter or a big battery, you add a second air condition, you get a bike rack, you get pick a thing. There's a yellow sticker down here on your screen door that you need to look at. That's the trailer as it rolled out of the factory. That tells you your cargo weight and water carrying capacity. If you've added things to the trailer since that point, you got to subtract those things from that number. So all the stuff you put in here, groceries, water, sleeping gear, clothing, shoes, toys, animals, pick a thing, all that stuff adds and takes away from that number, your cargo carrying capacity. Weight and balance affect front end separation drastically. And I'm not bagging the Pro Pride hitch either. I just think that they were probably adjusted a little bit too tight and the air pressure is too tight and it caused some stuff going on. I have towed with the Pro Pride hitch. I get asked about it quite a bit. It tows fantastic. It's one of the best towing hitches I've ever had. But I don't think it's necessary for every type trailer. Again, do your homework for your setup. Tire pressure, third rail of things. Every manufacturer, so Goodyear and Michelin, makes a tire pressure weight chart. So how much weight is sitting on that tire and tells you the PSI that should be for that weight. My tires and my trailer right now are 62 PSI. I do have the upgraded or updated 16-inch rims and 16-inch Michelin Light truck tire on this trailer now. But I ask that you all do your homework on your tire pressure too, because that's another big thing that I believe the vibrations cause front end separation. Additionally, tire balance. Airstream says that tires are balanced from the factory, but I have seen on my own trailers, 2 of my own Airstreams come from the factory and the tires weren't balanced. Whether they missed tire day or what, I'm not sure what happened, but they were neither of my Airstreams that I purchased had balanced tires. Neither one. I put on Centromatic wheel balancers. I made a whole video about that, and it's this little thing you take the wheel off, put the Centromatic balancer on, put the wheel back on, lasts millions of miles, and it helps constantly balance the tire no matter what conditions it's in. So you get a rock in the tire that throws the balance off just a little bit, this compensates for it. You get a flat spot on the tire that throws the balance off, this compensates for that. But if you are going to get a tire balance on your RV tires, particularly aluminum wheels, make sure they put the stick-on weights on the inside of the tire, not on the outside. And if you're using a tire pressure monitoring system, please get metal valve stems, because the rubber ones over time, the centrifugal force causes them to leak if you have those screw-on caps on your tire pressure monitoring system. I put in the Ford TPMS system into mine, so I have the Ford sensors in the wheels on the trailer. Let's talk about weight distribution hitches real quick and front end separation. So if this is the ball of my truck here, and this is where the weight distribution bars go beside the hitch, and they attach right where my ring is. Let's think about this for a second. When you go up a hill with your tow vehicle, or you back the trailer up a hill like this, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on those bars, therefore the A-frame of the trailer. Now, most of us are not driving in that severe enough up and down hill, except when we're getting into a camping spot, getting out of a camping spot, going down an unimproved road, getting in and out of our storage units or driveways. And when you put a giant turn on it, meaning trying to get super tight back into a spot, backing in, or you're getting gas or something like that, and you got to make really tight turns, that puts a tremendous amount of stress on those bars, therefore your A-frame. I just ask, if you're in those type situations, please disengage your weight distribution bars before you try to maneuver super tight turns or drastic up and down hills, like coming out of curbs or coming out of driveways or some campsites, particularly national parks. Sorry for the break and interruption. I don't remember exactly where I was. I had a phone call, so I've been on the phone for the last hour. But a couple of things I want to talk about with the weight distribution hitch. I went over that, about how they bend and all the mess like that, front end separation. I do want to say that after having visited Vinnie's and seen his new front end separation bracket, very, very impressed with that whole setup. The thing that Carl's building there is beautiful. I plan to, next summer, spring, summer, we're going to be in California anyway, and I'm going to swing back through Vinnie's, and I'm planning on adding that to my trailer. By then, I will have already crossed the 3-year warranty period for my trailer, so I'm not worried about anything like that. I do have some signs and symptoms of front end separation, meaning I've lost a couple rivets and things like that, so I'm anxious to get in there and tear it apart and see. Adding the generator that I put on up front, that does give the front end more stabilization, but we've invested so much time and money and effort into this one trailer. I do plan to keep this trailer for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and shore it up to make sure that I never have that issue. All right, back to the AirSafe hitch. Some people are very concerned about, if this were your bumper and this were the ball, and you extend it back some, how much more weight that adds back to it. And I had to put on a new ball hitch the other day because I got new rims and tires, so it raised me up an inch. So I put on a new bracket so I could raise my ball up an inch. So I'll show you putting on the new ball and talk about the differences in a regular hitch and 6 or 7 inches beyond that where the new ball hitch sits. Hello, Piper. You enjoying some sunshine this morning? Huh? You trying to help with my hitch? You want to help with my hitch? Come over here. Come. Come. Come over here. Come. Come. Piper. Good girl. Hey everybody, I am out here at the AirSafe Hitch. So recently I put 16-inch rims and tires on my Airstream, and it caused it to go up a little bit in height, so 1 inch specifically, or 7/8 of an inch I think is actually what it is. But my ball hitch now, unless I put too much air in this thing, it sits about 1 inch high in the front. So I can't adjust this up anymore. This plate right here will not go up anymore, but AirSafe has this. It's a drop plate or a extender up plate, depending on the type of trailer you have. So reached out to AirSafe, and Allen is great. And I'll tell you all, if you have any questions about the hitch or why you should have it and things like that, please reach out, because he's awesome. But anyway, I got this plate here, and I'm going to change this out. Now, my only dilemma is back to the ball, because I don't have a wrench or a nut that big, and you can't buy the dang things hardly anywhere. So I may have to go somewhere else and get this. I'm going to have to go find my pipe wrench again and pull this thing off and put it back on. But I still want to go get a socket. I'm going to go by somewhere where it's got a big mechanic shop and got the big nut, where I can drive it on with a big impact gun, because my impact gun is not strong enough for that. All right, let's pop this open off. I might take I just want to make sure I can get 1 inch out of it first. All right, 24 is where that is now, and that's the plate here. It's buried in my toolbox, but I'll find something later. So it'll be about a 1/2 inch taller than I want it to be. Not a big deal. So I'll get this ball swapped out and put that on. I'm gonna put some Loctite on these screws. Not that I think they'll come out, but just in case. Many people have said they are concerned about how far the AirSafe hitch sticks out. So I put my old WaySafe hitch up here to really compare and show you the differences in how it does stick out or not. So when the WaySafe hitch is installed, that's as far forward as it goes. So the ball is about right here, and this ball is right here. Now I got this on a wide angle, so it looks pretty far, but it's really not, what, 6, maybe 7 inches farther back than what it was normally. All in all, that is not a huge deal. It is a factor for sure. A couple things I want to address real quick on hitch weight. My truck, specifically this truck that I have, can tow a 25,000 pound trailer, and it has a hitch weight capacity of 2,500 pounds. My trailer hitch weight right now, with 2 full tanks of propane and a generator and all the other stuff I have in here, is about 1,000 pounds. So my truck can handle way more than that. The hitch itself weighs about 100 pounds, so you think I have 1,100 pounds sitting on this thing when it's hooked up and sitting stationary. You know, when we hit a bump and it goes up, that's a change in the weight, and particularly having the ball hitch, you know, closer to the truck, the less angle of things happening. The farther away from the truck, the more angle and the more pressure it puts on it. So, yes, I get that. And 6, 7 inches, whatever it is a factor. That is a definite factor. But many people are scared of that, and that's why they don't want to do this hitch. But I think the benefits for having this far exceed anything problematic from that. On the hitch weight note, I was just cruising through the Ford guide this morning, and I noticed the F-150, standard F-150. I'm not saying all F-150s. I'm saying the standard one in the Ford towing guide. You have to look at your specific truck to know what you need to do for yours. But the max hitch weight on the standard F-150 is only 500 pounds. Any trailer above a 25 and larger Airstream, the hitch weight is more than 500 pounds. Also in that towing guide, it says you need to see your door sticker to be specific and to see your truck specifically, but if you're towing a trailer with an F-150 larger than 5,000 pounds of a trailer, it recommended using a weight distribution hitch. And the Ford towing guide goes through how to set that up too. So I just implore that all of you do your research for your vehicle and your trailer and your weights and know all the things. And then you might ask, well, Brad, how do I get these scales and all these numbers? First, your hitch weight. If you don't have a AirSafe Hitch to verify it, you can get you one of these. It's just a little pole, goes up under your ball hitch, the front part of your trailer right here. Drop it down on and it gives you your weights on the scale there on the front. That's how I know my hitch weight. I go across cat scales quite a bit to know my drive axle, steer axle, trailer axle, total truck weight, total trailer weight, total combined weight of both things. And I'm going to put an asterisk by this again. I've talked about these on multiple videos on how to weigh and measure everything, but cat scales have a capacity of 300 to 400,000 pounds, and they're allowed a variance of 1%, which can be up to 300 to 400 pounds. I have never gone across a cat scale twice in the same day with the same set of weights, meaning I have to go through, weigh everything, drive back around, weigh everything, drive back around, weigh everything 2 or 3 times. I've never gotten the same number. It's always 100 pounds here, 200 pounds there. I've had it up to 300 pounds off one time. So just know that there are some variances. The only true way to measure all of your wheels is to go to individual scale weights and see what weight is on one tire, what weight is on another tire, so on and so forth like that, with a scale that's much closer calibrated to the weight you're putting on it. You're not an 18-wheeler with that much weight. You're 17,000 some odd pounds is what my whole setup weighs together. So I'm at the low end of the capabilities of that scale. So when you're at the low end of the capabilities or the top end of the capabilities, the variances are more significant, in my opinion. So I got the new plate put on here for the ball. The one that comes with it is short, and I couldn't get the ball up. So this put me up 1.5 inches, which is maybe a 1/2 inch too much, but I got to hook the trailer up and figure it out. But I did get this installed. This is a 1 3/16 inch nut here, and I don't have a wrench that big, so I had to go to my neighbors and borrow one. But I got it installed. Also on the ball, if you order a hitch of this setup, or you go get a new ball for some reason, make sure you have a ball that's capable of the weight you're putting on it. Some of these 2 5/16 ball you get at Walmart and on Amazon, things like that, they don't have a weight capacity proper for your trailer. I mean, if it's got a 10,000 pound weight capacity, I want something that's got a much more significant weight capacity than my trailer weighs. So just know that too. Every ball is not created equal. Every hitch ball is not created equal. After nearly 3,700 miles of towing with that AirSafe Hitch on, I'm still thrilled with the AirSafe Hitch, more so than I was initially. It's made my towing smoother, safer in my opinion, and way less stressful. And one anecdote thing real quick, many people have weight distribution hitches because of sway. If you've ever towed a box trailer, you have experienced sway, or you've towed a trailer with something too heavy on the rear end, you have likely experienced sway. I don't have a weight distribution system on this current trailer. We did on our 30-foot, but I don't now. I never have had one on this whole trailer, and it's got 26, 27, 28,000, whatever miles on it right now. 2 weeks ago, we were driving across Wyoming, and the signs above the road said, we went to sleep somewhere that night boondocking, and we got up the next morning, and the signs on the road said, trailers under 20,000 pounds are not permitted on I-80. I had nowhere else to go. Like, I could either backtrack, which is still illegal according to the sign, back into Utah and go 9 hours way around, or I could just continue the way I had to go for another 2 hours and make it to my destination. On the sign it said 40 miles per hour sustained winds, 60 some odd crosswinds, gust up to 60 some odd crosswinds gust. We got to a spot on I-80 through Wyoming where the crosswinds, Blair was looking at the app online, and every exit or every weather station there has a wind sock on it and tells you what the wind speed is. At the time we were crossing, it was somewhere between 55 and 65 sustained crosswinds, direct crosswinds to the truck and trailer. And we drove. Not once did I ever veer out of my lane. Not once did I ever worry about anything starting to sway or going crazy. I did slow my speed down to 55. But the aerodynamic shape of the Airstream really genuinely makes a big difference. I've said this many times before. I do feel when an 18-wheeler is right at the back edge of my bumper on the trailer, or a dump truck or something big thing like that that's pushing a lot of air off the front. Or if I'm passing one of them, I can feel it when it gets the front of their truck is to the rear of the trailer. And that's only when I'm driving, because it makes me turn the steering wheel just a little bit, but I don't feel the wiggle in my butt. And if I were sitting in a passenger seat or sitting in a back seat, Blair was driving, I wouldn't even notice it at all, particularly if I wasn't paying attention. So sway is something I don't really concern myself with. And yes, I understand that my truck has some stability control, sway control, and all that stuff built into the electronics of that truck. And it's a pretty heavy duty truck too. So I'm not saying you shouldn't worry about sway, but it's not something that's overly concerning to me. If you're on the fence about getting one of these hitches or not, I would encourage you to reach out to Allen at AirSafe and get his discussion, and he'll tell you all the things and why you should or should not. And also ask me. If there's something I failed to cover here, please feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to us via the contact us link on our website, and I will get back to you with an answer as soon as I can. I'm very grateful for the AirSafe company. I'm very grateful for people who make things like this. And I'm very grateful for those who test and engineer it and think about it. It allows me to have fun experimenting around. So have a great day, everybody. I hope you learned something. See you down the road.